Hey gang, welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. Today's video is a follow-up video to a viewer's project that I did in September of 2017. It was my first viewer's project video. But there's a YouTube follower, his name's Mike, and he's building or rebuilding a Cougar. And he has asked for some help. He can't get some panels to fit. And I said, I'll see if I can do it. And he said, well, if you can, let's get together and see if I can't offer some help to him. Well, here I am. I'm at Mike's garage, and we're checking out his '68 Cougar. And looks like he's pretty far into it. He's already done a bunch of work to the front end, different things with the suspension, some apron work, firewall, and he's working on getting the floor pan straightened out. At least on the passenger side. He's already done the driver's side. But I'm going to turn it over and say, here's Mike.
Hey Barry, first off I want to thank you for coming down and visiting my garage and helping me out with my project. Bought this car about a year ago. Had 2 or 3 cars I thought I'd want to redo if I ever got into restoring a car, and one of them was a Mercury Cougar. I always loved the rear end of them. Everybody seemed to have a Mustang, so I was looking for something a little different.
What all have you done to it?
So the front end, didn't want to go completely radical where I cut out the shock towers and put in the independent front suspension. I wanted to kind of somewhat keep it original. It is a bit of a resto mod. So I did drop the front cross members. A lot of people online, you can look it up, it's called a Shelby drop, where you drop it 1 inch.
You can see the holes there above the control arm.
And it's supposed to help with handling. Put a drop spring on it. Changed the sway bar out to a newer sway bar. The steering always seemed to leak for me for the original Mustangs, power steering and Cougars, so I went with a Borgeson steering box for an upgrade.
Alright.
We've changed the firewall, both inner aprons, front apron over here. Just lots of sanding, grinding, brushing.
Well, it looks really good. I see you've got the, I know that the paint on the control arms, I think that's is that a Scott Drake deal?
That's Scott Drake control arms,
okay.
Yep. I actually bought most of these parts I've been buying from West Coast Classic Cougar, which they do a lot of Scott Drake stuff. Went with wheel wood brakes.
That's nice. Cross-reel rotors. Nice. I think what's going to go on today, as we look at this car, he's already done the floor pan on the driver's side, and he's working on the passenger side. As you can see, it's got typical rust. But there's some other issues back here, back in this corner. There's some rust through at the transition panel. And then on this side, the top half of the torque box needs to be replaced. Also some sheet metal work in this area. And there's a new pan there. And he also has the transition panel there. And here's the other floor pan, along with various pieces and parts, as normal in any garage. So we're going to play around with this today and try to get some of this stuff in place and see what we can't get done. Alright, so we've worked on this panel. Got it all prepped with a weld-through primer, and it was a little bit tough getting it to fit. Had a little bit of a spring to it, but with a little brute force it should be fine. Sometimes you just have to clamp it a different way to get it to do what you want. So I'm going to start up down here, clamp that in. Clamp that in. Well, it's been a pretty productive day. We managed to get the top plate of the torque box in place, do some repair work up in that corner, and then get that patch panel in place so that the next step will be putting in the floor pan, which Mike will work on. And this just moves them along, and hopefully I see some pictures soon with the floor pan in place. And then he also has to do some patchwork over here. But now he has an idea of what he needs to do to make this happen, and looking forward to seeing progress. Well, I think that wraps up this episode of the, I don't know, we'll call it a traveling road show. I don't know what else to call it. But it's been fun, hanging out with Mike today and making progress on his car. I don't know, you got any words, Mike?
I want to thank you very much for coming down and working with me.
Certainly.
Definitely learned a lot. Got me moving forward. I was kind of in a stuck position with the transition box, and Barry came in and taught me a few tricks. So definitely helped out.
And when I came here the first time, I did a video on the car. I talked with Mike, and we also did some work on the car. He needed help with the torque box, and so I helped him out with that, got it together, and we talked about the car. And I happened to be in the area for something else, and I contacted Mike and I said, hey, I can come by and have another look at the car if you would like. And he said, yeah, let's do it. So I am now back at Mike's shop, and we're going to take another look at the Cougar and see the progress that he's made. Now, as you all know, we don't always get stuff done as quickly as we hope we can, but Mike has made some progress on this car over the years, and he's looking forward to getting more done before too long. So we're going to take a look at this car and see what Mike has done to it. So this looks like a repeat from 9 years ago, because the car looked very similar to this as far as color. But this has all been redone and primered. Mike has done a bunch of work to this car. Now, in the previous video, I came down and I helped him with the torque box on the passenger side. And it also needed floor pan work and a bunch of other stuff, but I helped him with the torque box. And then we looked at the car and talked about what he'd done to it with the suspension and what his plans were. But I'm going to let Mike take over from here, and he can tell us what he's done with the car. Now, this is 9 years later. Apparently Mike let his hair grow out. So just to keep you on track, this is Mike.
Welcome back, Barry. Sorry it took you so long to get down here.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, as you said, it's been about 9 years now, and things just don't go as we planned. This, I guess you could say I'm 9 years into a 3-year project. I thought this literally was going to be 3 years, and I still say 3 years. It's just 3 years from today.
Yep, there you go.
So, yes, I have done a lot of work. Most of the sheet metal and body work is done on the car. There is some body work left, not much, but we did get a 9-inch in the rear. It has a 350 positive traction disc brake rear end. I did put a 4R70W transmission in with a US shift controller. I finished off the work here in the rear, as well as the floor pans. And this black coating you see is a product called Lizard Skin. It has both the ceramic and the insulated sound deadening characteristics. This fuel tank has got a built-in fuel pump. I had originally planned on going with fuel injection, but then it's been swapped over. I decided against that, and just need to spend more money and put it back to a carbureted car.
So it still has a fuel pump in the tank.
Still has a fuel pump in the tank.
But you put some regulator on there to get the pressure back down to where it would handle the carburetor.
To handle the 6 pounds for a carburetor.
Okay, and I see you've also got an Optima battery in the trunk.
Yes.
And that's a nice setup. And you said you had to repair or replace some metal back here?
Yes, I put the drop-off pans in here, and then I bought a piece for this rear transition, but I just cut parts off of it to do
and pieced it in.
Pieced it in on the rear floor section.
Okay. And I know you said you had worked on the quarter panel, so you did some work on the arches or the.
Well, I replaced this section through here. I did work on the arches and a patch over in here.
Okay.
as well on both sides.
All right. Now, let's take a look up front here, because I've already talked about when I was here previously that you'd replaced all the suspension parts. I don't remember if you had the Willwood brakes on it or not. I don't remember.
I don't think I had brakes on it yet, but
So
we did put 4 Willwood brakes set up all the way around.
and you had, I know in the previous video, it had the original paintwork done on the control arms, like they would have come from the factory, black with that silver
Yes,
painted on
that's
the
still
ends.
there. I didn't change that.
Didn't change any of that.
No.
Okay, but when I was here last time, it did not have this sitting under the hood. So what is this?
This is a 351 that has been stroked out to a 408. And we put the power steering in. I put a, I can't recall
The
the
front
name
runner?
off the top, front
Like a
runner
front runner
off the
system?
top of my head, but I put this system in with a single serpentine and the power steering. I do have the air conditioner compressor for it. I just haven't added a vintage air system yet, so it will go in there.
So you've got Edelbrock Victor Jr. heads, is that right?
Yes, sir. Victor Jr. heads,
And it's stroked out to what again?
408.
408. All right, and you have H-beam rods, I think you were saying earlier.
H-beam rods, forged pistons, forged crank, internally balanced, a girdle, so it's got a lot of good sweet candy in it, and hopefully it'll stay together.
So I know when we were talking about this earlier, you said there's a lot invested between that core support and that firewall.
Correct. It adds up quick.
It adds up quick. The other thing we were looking at, I know when I was walking in, I noticed that you have this unique hood scoop, and you said this is a factory Cougar hood scoop.
Yes, this is a Cougar hood scoop.
So he added this hood scoop because the air cleaner sat too high. When he lifts the hood, you can see how much it sits up. So that's more of a relief for the air cleaner rather than, I mean, it is a cosmetic thing, but it is more of a relief in this case for the air cleaner. Now, we also talked about, I think you said this fender was originally a 67
Yes.
because
so this is a hand cut hole.
hole.
For a
So
light.
same fender, but just 67 did not come with side marker lights. And that fender over there is correct 68.
Yes, sir.
What radiator are you using here? Do you know? With the-
It's a 4-row aluminum. Bought it through Summit, along with the fan kits in this. So it's running dual fans.
okay, yeah, there's a part in our Summit 384023-101422. That's the number on that. So if you're interested in looking at one of these radiators, did you have to notch this?
Yes, I did. I notched this and I cut the core support opening a little bit.
Oh, to give it some room to come forward.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And it's not an original car at this point anyway, so, and that's a good thing
Right.
to make that have more cooling effect by having that bigger radiator in there. And then the brake system, what brand did you go with? You know, particular?
It's a Willwood set up here.
Okay. Oh, with a proportioning valve.
And then this, I think I bought probably from Summit or National Parts Depot.
All right. And then you have an MSD.
To get the
Oh.
pancake style or smaller.
Oh, the shorter booster. Yeah.
Shorter booster.
Okay. Yeah, because I
Cougar boosters. There's some. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So these are
Original boosters.
Cougar boosters. They were much.
Oh wow, that's
Much bigger, much
that's
thicker.
huge. That's
Yeah.
pushing 6-7 inches
Right.
of depth there. So I realize as I'm looking at that, and I think back to when I was doing Jade, the system I used was CSRP, and I had a problem with the master cylinder almost or making contact with the shock tower. So that is fantastic. Shortens that up, gives you a lot more room in there. And then you have a dipstick over there for the transmission, I see, hidden behind the shock tower.
Yep.
And so I see you have the underside of this hood that's kind of like a battleship gray color. Is that just an epoxy or something?
That is a product called Pour 15.
Oh, it's Pour 15.
Yeah, it's just in gray. it had a little bit of surface rust in there, and it was, you know, like, man, this is going to be terrible trying to clean all this up and all.
Right.
So I took 415 and a cheap chip brush, China
And
bristle,
just
Harbor Freight
Yeah.
chip brush, and that stuff self-leveling. It laid out, looks like it was almost sprayed.
It does, and I know when I first looked at this when I came in, I was thinking, is that the color it's going to be painted? But we talked about that, and you have a sample over here on your bench. This is the kind of the color you're looking at
Yeah,
now,
it's in this range.
or something
This-
similar.
Similar. So I mixed this myself. I was working at a body shop, and we had a bunch of cans, and I kind of just kept working until I got something I liked. And lo and behold, though, there is a Ford factory color. I think I don't remember the name, but I believe it's F11
Okay.
is the paint code that is very similar to that.
Yeah,
and I will probably go
He
with
showed me a picture of it, and it's very close to that. So I recommend he go with that factory paint mix because it's easier if you have to retouch it to be able to find some of that paint. So now on the inside here, I think the last time you didn't have seats. We know it didn't have seats in the car, but you've got a set of seats in here now. And then I see you've got a control unit up there in the console. That's for the transmission.
Yes, sir. That's US Shift. US Shift 1 is a quick Shift 4, I believe, is the model of it. But that's to control the 4R70W transmission that I put in.
All right. And then right now you just have, just for starting it up, you've got a quick car control box there that you can flip the switches and hit the start button. You've got an oil pressure and I guess a temperature sensor or temperature gauge over there.
Yep, and a tachometer there.
And an attack down there. I didn't see that behind the steering wheel. Now, I will say this. Mike started this car for me before we started making any video.
Yep.
And it sounds nasty. I'll just say that. It's open headers and this thing sounds nasty. But we had a problem.
Yep, slight problem.
Slight problem. So, I'm trying to get you in the frame there. There you are.
Yep.
So, Mike started his car for me, and like I said, it was loud, and it just sounded incredible. And we thought about, starting it up for the video, but that's not going to happen now. Had a problem with the transmission line. Unexpected. Obviously, when you're doing this type of stuff and you're building things, stuff fails. And the transmission line blew off and blew transmission fluid all over the place. So we're honest about that. We're not going to tell you it didn't happen, but that is why we're not going to start it up. Currently that line is off of the car, and I was helping him clean up transmission fluid. So we're going to lift the car up. We're going to show you the underside, all the stuff that's going on there, and show you that transmission line. And the good part about this, there's nothing good about a failure, but the good part is it happened here in the garage. If you'd been out on the highway or been out hot dogging this thing somewhere and that line blew off, it could have been a disaster. So we're going to get the car up in the air and show you what it looks like from underneath. And this all looks really good back here. I mean, you've got it's nice and solid. Now, what did you put on the frame right now? Is it just an undercoating, or is it just a paint?
That is SEM.
Okay. Oh, SEM.
SEM trim black.
That is a nice accent. And then, okay, so you've got the SEM on there, and what else were you saying?
So I'm probably going to use a product from Eastwood, a seam sealer that you can brush on with a can.
Right.
And just really load these seams up one more time and then repaint it again. Not too many people crawl up underneath to look, but we definitely don't want to have to deal with any rust and water getting in, so more of a preemptive.
And I use that brushable seam sealer all the time. I see here there's your seam for the transition panel going into the floor pan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you did put in, are these two halves?
These are two full length.
Okay, so wow,
Yeah,
you did a good
This is the original
job.
tunnel.
You did a good job blending that in, because most of the time when I do these, I just do an overlap, and I'll weld it on the bottom side or grind it smooth, and then re-seam seal it. But that looks really good. And that lizard skin, wow, that's really good. So that looks great. That really does. All right, so you've gone around the floor supports, got seam sealer all over there. You got your block-off plate sitting in. Front torque boxes are all in great shape. Oh, that's why the exhaust is so loud. Oh man, let me tell you, this thing was rattling the windows in this garage. So a 470W transmission.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so you don't have your parking brake stuff set up
No.
yet, and that's fine.
I'm not yet determined. I'm thinking possibly going with an electronic parking brake.
I don't blame you.
So this car originally was a base model Cougar. It wasn't the XR7. In the XR7, there's like 4 or 5 courtesy switches for
Right.
different lights that were inside. Map lights. I may utilize one for parking brake. Just different things.
So as I had said before, I'll go around to the front here. This is like the correct paint code on the suspension. So it would have had this black, and then it's supposed to be unfinished. Technically, I think is what they were. The originals were, but this has probably got a coating on it to make it match and look more like the original. So you got the upper and lower, all new suspension pieces, disc brake setup, and transmission fluid. You can see it dripping off the bottom of that pan because when it dumped, it poured out of the car, unfortunately. And so we were cleaning this up, Mike doing more of the work than me, but this is the transmission line. And so, let me grab a hold of that. You can see it's got the braiding on it, the sleeve, and that normally goes inside the AN fitting, but for whatever reason, it failed. So this will have to come apart. I can turn that with my fingers right now. There's no tension on it.
Poor craftsmanship.
Well, it's one of these things where you'd rather it happen right now than going down the road. But this all looks fantastic on here. I like the pan, the big wide pan, extra acid butt adds like an extra quart.
It's about 7 to almost 8 quarts.
That's nice. That is very nice.
And it's supposedly got the baffles in it to
Yeah, control it
keep oil
sloshing
from
around. Yeah.
sloshing around. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm building this car for me, but I won't. I'll probably do nothing much more than go to the grocery store or go to work in it. Maybe once I'll take it out to the track and let's just see,
Yeah.
what will it do.
Yep.
And hopefully have no more catastrophic
No
failures.
more catastrophic. Let it happen right here in the garage.
Yep.
And be done with it. The other thing I was going to ask you, the headers. You know what the brand those are?
Yes, so those headers, I believe the company is FTP.
Okay. F, probably like Frank Thomas.
I'm sorry. FPA.
Oh, F. Okay, let's look here.
So, Ford
F-
Powertrain Applications out of Washington. You call them up and do not be in a hurry. But I told him, I said, look, I got a Mercury Cougar. This is a 351. It's got a Borgeson steering box in it. It's going to have a 4R70W transmission. And you give him all the details and he'll go tell you whether or not he has a jig for it, which he did. And they're pretty pricey.
Okay.
So, I don't mind showing you. And
All right.
that was in 23. But these are ceramic coated, and when I went to put them in, they fit like a glove.
Well, that's
And
more important than people realize.
There was no beating, there was no banging, there was no cutting and re-welding. To put this passenger side in, I did have to undo the idler arm
Right.
and swing it away. But
Oh, to get-
they
yeah,
walked
yeah.
right up in there,
That's awesome.
no problem.
That's awesome.
So that was one of the better fitting, good choice that I made. Had to wait a little while on them, But
Well, that's one of the things I'm fighting with on that 68 that I'm building right now, and I'm waiting on the headers to show up from TCI once again to get them in place. But I like it. I mean, I know it's been a while, and I wish we could fire it up, but we're not going to do that because it would be it could be could damage the transmission. So it's just not worth it to do that for everybody. But it's looking really good, Mike. I like it.
well, thank you. I do plan on trying my best this year to get this car finished either by me or somebody else. But yes, I plan on trying to. I'll probably put in the vintage air myself and maybe cut in the paint, get the exhaust finished and alignment, and then it'll go to the paint shop.
Very nice. Can't wait for the next video. Maybe next time I'll go for a
drive it up
ride.
there and we'll do it at your shop.
There you go. Sounds good to me. Well, like I said, it's been 9 years. Life gets in the way, but he's still working on this car, and I think that's great. I have my own vehicles that I don't ever work on because I'm doing stuff for other people. He still has a full-time job and a life to live and all kinds of stuff. So I don't blame him for taking his time to get this car together and right the way that he wants it. So I want to thank Mike for letting me come in again and look at his car and his project. And I'm looking forward to maybe getting a ride in it one day.
As they used to say, at a theater soon near you. So maybe we'll do a video in Fayetteville.
Maybe we will. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.